Mouse would look great in a squid hat.
Okay, it is 7:14 and I am calling this meeting to order. Welcome to the BOD meeting for November 10th, 2020. It is a very, again, late 7:14 and I apologize for the computer glitches. I have no idea if we're streaming, but I'm hopefully recording. Let's see who is present. Astral Winds.
I'm here.
Ravenstone.
Present.
Frozen Coast.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, Loop and Moon.
You forgot about me. Yes, I'm here.
Ice Fire Bay.
Oh, yeah.
Kingdom Prime Minister.
Here.
Malarian, are you here?
Yes, my mouth is full though.
That is fine. And I am here, the Kingdom Monarch. Okay, so the Kingdom Prime Minister sent out the previous meeting minutes. Has everyone had a chance to review?
Yep.
Yes.
Motion to approve the prior meeting's minutes. I'll second that motion.
All right, we have a motion to accept and a second. From top to bottom, Astral Winds, do you approve the meeting minutes?
Approved.
Ravenstone.
Yes.
Loop and Moon.
Yes, ma'am.
Frozen Coast.
Yes, ma'am.
Ice Fire Bay.
Yes.
Kingdom Prime Minister.
Yes.
And I, the Kingdom Monarch, do approve. We have accepted the meeting's previous minutes. All right, on tonight's agenda, which I did post and it looks like it might have gotten scrolled up, the first item to discuss is we, at our last BOD meeting, and discussed the removing mostly or turning back on, unfreezing, however you want to word it, the regular member status. I had posted to the BOD and I have posted in this chat what the what I am proposing, what would define the current regular member status. To sum up, what it is that as of tonight, if this motion passes, that you are now required to obtain credits through an event that is held within the kingdom. It is not limited to your park like your normal regular member status is. It can be earned from any of the 6 parks. And you must obtain 12 credits from any park in the last 180 days.
So to clarify, you're not normally required to attend your park for meeting attendance for regular member status. That's only for officer attendance.
Is there any further discussion to this proposal?
I think this is a wonderful proposal. I think that if people are really wanting to have a say in the way that Northreach is going, they should be willing to participate in Northreach in whatever form that we're able to have it right now. I understand that it's not ideal. I understand that it's not in person, but I understand that it's not ideal. I understand that it's not in person. And this isn't the usual format that we have our meetings in. But we also don't normally have a worldwide pandemic, so adjustments should be made. And I think it's a great idea to require people to have, 12 attendances in 180 days is not difficult.
What I'm wondering is, for a regular attendance, does that also include an ANS event?
Yes, this goes beyond what would normally require, which normally to attain regular member status, it's 12. You have to attend 12 attendance regular meetings, which we consider a park day, which is when we're meeting in person. So this takes away that part, the regular meeting part, and it's just 12 online events essentially.
And so if somebody were to create these different events or whatnot, I guess I'm speaking specifically about our regent who doesn't have online capability right now. I think she does have a computer, but she's having issues with getting online. So currently, she doesn't have a way to attend things, but she's very creative and could create things that I could post. And would that count towards credits?
I think it depend on how you decided to run your events.
Yes, I agree with that statement because that was one of the concerns that got brought up from Astral Winds is a lot of them do live further out from Fairbanks where they considered, I'm going to say the boonies in quotes, where it is more difficult to get onto Discord and have a solid connection. Like, for example, the survey that I posted, it's considered an asynchronous event, and that's which I'm going to enter all those credits tonight. But that would give you 1 credit toward your regular membership status. So Ronan did something similar where he was posting, or like, was it your in a garb drinking a hot beverage? That would be
that was Sticks, yeah.
Yeah, or Sticks. Yeah, sorry.
You're good.
But yeah, but it's something similar like that. You have to, or if you show progress, like if for his, I'm gonna take you again, Ronan, here. Your Crafter's Corner. If you posted, hey, this is my Crafter's Corner thread. Show me your progression on your ANS project. So say I started I started a surcoat, and I can take all these pictures and I'm going to post them up onto that thread and say, look, this is my ANS that I have done. And so that would be showing that you are actually doing something AmpGuard related, and I'm posting it for a credit under this thread. Not this, hey, post your name and get a credit. That ain't gonna cut it. You actually have to show commitment and progress.
Sounds good to me. I think it's a good way to keep people kind of engaged and keep us on their radar and whatnot through these times.
Did you keep in the protective language for the last however many months from March till now, for those that haven't attended from then to now?
No.
So then I'll express that there's an issue there, because when we made that statement, we said that until this was repealed, that there would be basically a rolling cap in attendance requirement. And so changing that policy at this point is a little disingenuous from the organization standpoint, since at the time we said we would honor a gap there.
So it's I'm going to step out of the room. I'm getting an echo here. I think one of the perspectives worth looking at on that, though, is that we're essentially taking a prior board's decision and and kind of forcing it on a future board. And I don't really think that was, I don't think it was bad necessarily that as an idea, but I don't know that that was something that we needed to do. Because the return to normalcy really should be this board's decision, or if it's not this board, the next board. It really shouldn't have been a board from the past that made that decision.
So a little odd thinking about them as separate entities because it's one entity. Sure, it's different people serving on the board, but as far as an organization serving its members, it's one continuous entity across. And so I'm not saying that you guys can't do this, but it is just a little like you're retconning what was already decided. And so even if like this group decides, just you got to own that and be upfront about it and say, okay, no, we didn't like that idea. And so if that's the way you guys want to go, like Corn, yeah, so Corn's pointing it out, and I'm just pointing it out too. You guys will have to own that decision and everybody be upfront about it. But if it was me in the hot seat, I'd be suggesting trying to honor that.
And we do have an election coming up, and so regular member status would affect those people who are being able to vote and those that are able to go out for office, right?
Yes.
So I have a kind of maybe contentious viewpoint on the way that this is going. Um, before I really get into it here, um, is the language that we're looking at saying that the people who have attended and are regular members from the moment that we froze requirements, they would still be regular members, and those who haven't met it since then would no longer be, or is it just across the board? Just to clarify really quick, because I think I might be a little lost.
It would be if you would have regular membership status from the new method, you would retain that.
All right, and if you hadn't maintained any attendances despite being a regular member when attendance was frozen, you would no longer be a regular member, right?
I'm seeing a head nod, so correct.
Okay. So I like that. I really think that especially right now, it is important for us to have the people who have shown that they are dedicated to the way that Northreach is going forward, that they're invested in the way that our kingdom is headed, that they would like a say. I think it's important for those people to be able to have the say, um, especially since we've shown that they've been able to show that in less than ideal circumstances, i.e., where we're meeting online rather than strictly in person, because most parks did not have a very long time they were able to meet in person. I think it's important to make sure that the people who've shown they are dedicated are the regular members, as opposed to people who very obviously showed up to a hobby that they enjoyed when it's in person, but when it's not there and physically in front of them, not something that they're growing and adapting with. Does that make sense? Like I said, I know that kind of makes me sound like an asshole. Uh, but I really think that the future of our kingdom should be in the hands of the people who have shown that they're dedicated and invested.
So just to clarify, like the nitpicky part that I'm picking at it isn't what you're addressing right now, Boot. So what you're saying, like I don't disagree really, and like going forward, I thought the original version of this proposal was that, and it would be like, okay, cool. So yeah, going forward, we're going to have this new requirement. The issue that I'm picking at a little bit here is that we are changing what the requirements were in the past for the last math is hard, 8 months ish. And so we told people in March, give or take, that the requirements effectively for the summer were frozen so that if you didn't feel safe due to COVID, we would lock you in as a member and let you stay being a member, even if you felt like it was safest to stay home. The issue with this proposal is that now with this change, we're saying, well, if you decided not to participate in this newfangled way for the last 8 months, we're going to now penalize and take away your thing. It's not just a matter of going forward and establishing new protocols, requirements, or expectations. It's that we're changing what the expectation was for the past. Because the original wording had this kind of frozen bubble of like, we won't count this chunk of time against anybody in any way. And that's the part that's being dropped or missed here. And that's where I'm like, oh, if you guys want to make that decision, that has some weight to it, and you should be very careful about going forward with it, because it's like I was thinking it's kind of a retcon or a bit disingenuous because we told everybody that it was going to be cool, and now we're saying, well, it's not really cool enough.
I mean,
I think one of the methods we can move forward with is we don't necessarily have to say it's a drop membership status today, but if the goal is to have people have membership status by the time we reach the election, there's plenty of opportunities to get that. So there's certainly the opportunity to retain membership status and still say by the election, you need to have reached these 12 credits to vote.
And granted, we are here, what, 2.5 months from the actual election. So that does make a small window for those that haven't been participating much. But at the same rate, I know that all the parks are looking at online and offline ways for people to be able to communicate. I guess in this day and age, we look at most people at least having internet access or a phone that they can take these pictures or know somebody. Like maybe that's something we need to remind people is you probably know somebody that you could, like, when you're in town, they could take a picture of you real quick, or something like that. But then again, I wear Garby stuff all the time, and I know some people feel apprehensive about that.
so I definitely understand where a lot of this is coming from, and the to be completely frank, um, I know Loop and Moon and a lot of the other parks have busted their butts to make as many opportunities for people to get credits, to get participation, to reach out to people and say, hey, I know that we're all locked inside because we're scared of COVID. Here are some other ways that you can be connecting with your community. We have offered copious amounts of opportunities, credits, all sorts of things for people to do. If people were interested in being a part of Vanguard, they've had more than enough ample opportunity to do so. I cannot fathom a reason why for in the last 8 months people have chosen not to connect and still want to vote on things that are upcoming if they're actually invested.
Well, to give you an example, like my regent, she is very invested. She loves this group and wants to see it continue. Unfortunately, she hasn't had internet access, and then our park opened up again. But she does have some conditions and whatnot, and did not feel comfortable with coming to meetings when they opened up. Just like I have a mixed household, so I did not attend until mid-rains in the summer. Um, but so it does like leave this sudden oof of things to get on and do. And I know that for my regent, she might be able to do that. But for those people who perhaps were looking to, I think the biggest thing is not trying to shoot somebody in the foot that was looking at going out for office because they do care for our organization and wants to be a part. But I guess also, I'm sorry, I just had this. So with us being on an online status, it's good to have people who have more connection and availability for that. Um, but also, I'm not wanting to discount the regular voter because being able to put your words in on who you think should hold office is a very important thing. And if they do have that lack of availability to any internet access, some people still have flip phones and don't have internet, or they are working full time and are just extra strapped on all ends because we are in the middle of a pandemic. So there's lots of different things to look at here.
So just a quick counterpoint to Boot's point earlier about how lots of folks, lots of officers have provided lots of opportunities over the summer and even into the fall months here with opportunities to participate in various things. Those guys are awesome. They've worked their butts off, and I as a member really appreciate that they've been doing these things, even if not every event has been super well attended. It's really awesome that people have been dynamic and really pushing the boundaries of what they're comfortable with and doing some awesome things. The counterpoint though is that like for me personally, I do Amp Guard for the in-person activity. Like you guys, you're all awesome. But just like personally speaking, the point of Amp Guard for me is it's a real life hands-on kind of activity for me. I have a lot of virtual things and I have like other groups that I do stuff with. And so like in my own personal life, and again, I'm not trying to be offensive to anybody, so hopefully nobody takes it personally, but like I have other groups that I do other things with. So for my online and virtual activities. So I'm not like looking for another group to do that stuff with. So, what I'm trying to do is sympathize with folks that might be in a similar boat where their primary thing that they participate in Amp Guard from is for that in real life interaction and aspect. And so when we went and told them, hey, you don't have to, like, we'll waive any attendance requirements. Don't worry about it. We'll be here when things calm down. And they like basically turned off that part of their brain and then just were like, cool, it's frozen. It'll be there when I get back to it. I just want to note that where this looks like it's going is kind of retconning or changing what we told them. And again, like you guys are totally within your right capability. And it's not like on one end, it's totally not unreasonable to expect people to be actively participating, in the group, the culture, the activity overall, in whatever form it is, for them to be participating in things like voting and, elections. I say, yeah, okay, voting on items and elections. So you're not being unreasonable. I just want to keep iterating that there's a word of warning there that you are changing something, and there's probably a handful, maybe a dozen or so folks throughout the kingdom. It's hard for me to really speculate. I'm not sure of folks that you're even going to affect, and I don't think I'm even one of them. So like I'm kind of defending these ghost members that aren't even really around, to be honest. So. Hopefully some of that made sense. I'll stop though.
No, that makes great sense, and I really appreciate you saying that because I have had it expressed to me by a couple of members that they don't really understand how we're going to turn this to an online thing, because we have been open all for that half of the summer and this fall, and we kind of came together because we wanted something outdoor and active and you know hitting people with foam weapons. It's great, and it's just weird to them to try and understand the idea that they can go online and play a game of Minecraft or Among Us and get a point towards Amp Guard, because those two things are very different.
And I understand and I appreciate that perspective. I really do. But right now, like I said, we are in the middle of a pandemic and things are much different. I'm not saying that the people who only want to play it when it's in person are wrong. I definitely prefer Amp Guard when it is in person. That being said, this is what our future looks like for now.
I think from my perspective, I kind of have I agree with Boots to a point. There's certainly, I want people that want to be involved in Amped Guard, regardless of what's going on, to be the people that are regular members, because that shows me who's the dedicated folks. That's the people that want to be involved. And that's generally who our general membership or regular membership is. I don't know that we need, I'm kind of sitting here in a middle ground here because I don't know that we need to just have a drop dead date where right now, November 10th, anybody who hasn't earned their credits or earned their attendance is no longer a regular member. There's certainly the possibility that we could make it. We don't necessarily have to go and drag it out as long as it was presented before too. I personally think it should be corrected before the election. And a way I think we could do that is we have anybody who has that membership status. Right now, they end right today with 12 credits, and every week from today, they drop a credit unless they've attended some sort of event until we get beyond those 12 weeks, and then at that point, we expect regular membership status to have 12 credits in the last 6 months.
That
Well,
would make sense because that would sorry.
oh
I
no,
was gonna say I agree with that. Yes.
Yeah, it would give them, you wouldn't be penalized for not being able to attend, but at the same time, you could keep up attendance to show that you are in fact willing to participate.
I could definitely come to that compromise. So long as they're at that limit of yes, you have 12 participation. But moving forward, they would need to upkeep it, especially before our upcoming elections.
Yes.
so I think by the day that would be kind of tough because we don't have events going on every day. But also something to take note of is that yeah, none of us asked to be in this situation, but here we are trying to make, and we want to keep people connected and involved, and like are the and get creative and reimagine, you know, reimagine and cultivate those areas that you didn't have time for before. Because like if you have a busy week and you can only make it to amp guard, but you haven't put much into your garb, make some garb. In that time that you would have gone to that battle game, spend that 3 hours making garb or cultivating your character and understanding more about who that character is and all of that. So yeah.
As far as expecting people to be able to make 12 attendances before elections, um, that should be no issue, even not counting other people's home parks. I can guarantee you that Loop and Moon will have at least 15 events before then, considering we usually have 2 to 3 things going per week. Add in another park, that's 6 things per week. Add in another park. It shouldn't be difficult for people if they actually are dedicated to trying to make a change in Northreach to have their voice heard, et cetera, et cetera. It should not be difficult for people to make those attendance requirements.
Well, and at this point, we could say maybe like, okay, you didn't attend anything this week, then we're going to, no, but as opposed to it being a day thing.
No,
Uh,
and yeah, no, it's per day. It's just as long as they make the proper attendance within whatever weeks leading up to the election it is. It doesn't all have to be like one thing per day.
And plus, if they were meeting within the past 2 or 3 months, that's credits right there.
Absolutely. If you'll excuse me, I need to switch over to my phone really quick. I do have to drive somewhere I will be able to hear and participate. I just need to switch machines really quick.
Yeah, that wasn't necessarily a strict idea too. If it was drop one credit, one attendance a week or whatever. I mean, it could be one a month, whatever the council or the board decides. It's just, um, I think that's the method forward is really to put something into place that people need to be active to be part of the election. And I think that's the goal, if I'm understanding correctly.
At least from this point on.
And would that be only for those members that haven't participated at all, or do we all get an extra 12 credits that then degrade if we don't participate on a weekly basis? Just trying to figure out how we would make this system work.
I would imagine anybody that has 12 within the last 6 months would be fine. It's the people that don't have credits or don't have attendance. I'd like to get away from credits too, to call it attendance instead of credits. But the the goal should be 12 credits in the last 6 months, and then have if anybody hasn't met that requirement up to now, start to say they have 12 attendances as of November 10th, and one falls off after whatever it is, a week, a month, whatever, to encourage that people participate, to have some sort of attendance by the time we get to the election.
And so I guess I'm wondering is how would we regulate that? Because I checked out my attendances and I'm at about 10. So if we were to put this forward, then I would have 12, but then each week I would need to add up unless I was going to lose it. But once I add those extra 2 credits, then I should be good, right? But then how do you regulate and make sure that those people who have some credits and they hit that 12-point marker then aren't going to continually be losing a credit?
No, so everybody's, that's why I said I want to get away from credits. This is attendance. So there's nobody's getting or losing or earning or any credits. It's just you need 12 attendances within the last 6 months. You're going to start at 12. If you say so, you're at 10, so you'd start at 12, and you'd need to make sure to maintain that. You need to be in one event for whatever time frame that we decide it falls off.
Oh, gotcha. Because the credits help to clarify the attendance, and so if you have those, you gain those then 12 attendances. Then it shows on your org, and you're all good.
Yes.
Thank you for clarifying that.
I believe Her Majesty made a quick edit to the proposal, if the COC wants to look that over. Sorry, the BOD.
Yeah, but I don't think it has anything to do what was just discussed.
No, Larry, do you want to try vocalizing what you're saying?
Sure. I was just saying do a graduated requirement scale starting from whatever day you want to enact it. So what is it, 12 and 180? So 180 at 30 is, oh my God, math.
3.
Is it 1/3? Is 30 days out of 180 a third? That doesn't sound right.
No, that's very wrong. It's
Yeah.
6 to a third. So you're looking at a sixth as opposed to a third.
So a 6, so 2. So at 30 days, you have 2 attendance requirements. 30 days from November 10th. At 60 days, you have 4. You have to have done 4. And then just until it's merged up with 180 days from now.
Yeah, I agree. That sounds a lot more reasonable and easier to manage.
That's very reasonable.
Okay, then I need someone to write that into my document.
Got it. Did we lose Corin? Quick, give him permission.
I think we've confused her and all the options we've thrown out there, so she's having I think she's ready to throw her laptop at me, is I think what's about to happen. Corin, did you want to just talk here?
Sure. So the graduated requirement proposal, in my opinion, is too confusing. I don't necessarily think that it couldn't be done or wouldn't work, but I definitely want more time to sort out how it needed to be written. Sorry, now I'm reading what Nalarian just put in. More confusing than what they were doing with fake credits set at 12 and dropping. No,
Why
I don't.
are you guys all stuck
I
on
don't think
credits?
more confusing than that. Because credits are the standard way of tracking attendance. I understand your point about a 2-credit day is not 2 attendances, though, so there is a distinction.
Yeah, that's true. There's probably some of these that haven't had to determine people.
But I think that the two obvious solutions to what we're trying to do to reinstate attendance requirements are either say that as of today, online activities count as regular meetings for purposes of attendance requirements for regular membership, or say that 180 days from today, attendance requirements basically go back to normal, so that in 180 days we start looking at the your attendances that you've gotten over the past 180 days and counting your membership for the normal way then. I think those are the two straightforward options.
And just a side note I'd like to put out there is the idea of there being a credit given to anybody an online event or posting something, even if it's some sort of an AS, like a character sheet that you could fill out. If they created that, would they be entitled to a point for doing that creation and putting that time in and posting that up?
So we're going back to that, like on the for the local parks, you have some ability to decide as the monarch what events you're holding. So that's really in your ballpark as to what to do for those credit earning events.
Well, but I also understand that, obviously if you're running a D&D campaign or you're hosting an Among Us game or Minecraft, you are attending and yeah, you're getting credit for it. But if you create something that people can do online and it's something that, they can procure beforehand or whatever, I mean, like, I guess as the monarch, it's okay for me to give that person credit for coming up with this idea, right?
You as monarch should be the one sanctioning the activities that we're receiving credits. If somebody comes to you and asks, "Hey, can I do this?" You can be like, "Oh, hey, yeah, sure." But like every Joe Schmo can't be just putting out games, and people can suddenly, start getting 5, 6 credits a day because people are playing different games together. Does that make sense?
Definitely. Yes. Yes. And thank you.
For sure.
So I think what we need to decide here is, do we want to have something kind of like what Corin was talking, where we have some point in the future we reach normalcy, or are you guys wanting to fix this before the election so that we have people who are currently active voting in the election or running?
Well, I guess I kind of feel that it would be good to go forward with this, but with that reduced of, this is how many days we have left once we enact this, and you only need to make up these many attendances or whatnot, because we are getting creative and making a lot of different avenues. Um, And right now we are online. And so far as what it's looking like, these numbers have hit really high numbers and they've gone down and up and down and up, but they haven't really gone down. They haven't even gone under 400 in days. And so it would be, I think, really good to have the people that are working with the park be active and interested in that avenue and looking at perhaps for most of your reign or all of your reign for the next 6 months, you might be online. And so we want those people who can get creative and can help inspire people in that online aspect and work with that, right?
Okay, but so on the task at hand with the specific proposal, my suggestion is that we put 2 credits for November, because essentially we have it an average of 2 credits a month to get that 12 credits in 6 months. So let's start with we're going to start with to have regular member status. We expect 2 credits a month starting November 10th until we reach that normalcy point in 6 months where we start expecting 12 credits in the last 6 months. So starting in November would be 2, in December would be 4, in January would be 6, and so on. Does that work for everyone?
As in 2 a month. So 2 for November, 2 for December, which would equal 4, and so on, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to do 2 in December if you did 4 in November, but it still needs to that number is going to grow until it reaches 12, so that we're back to normal.
I can agree.
Yeah, me
Makes a lot
too.
of sense.
Let me know if that's addressing the concerns everyone's having.
Actually, I think it does because it must be a prorated attendance requirement of 6. So that's 2 for November, 2 for December, 2 for January. That's 6.
Man, you're good at legalese even when you're on medication, Rain. Good job.
I'm typing with one hand.
Yeah, I like this proposal.
So not to ruin it, but I think this fixes it for the election. I think we need to change the wording to kind of fit what I was saying, because regular member status isn't only relevant during the election.
So in this proposal, he actually says after the next election, then the normal attendance rules will apply. So that means we're going to go back to the 12 and 180.
Yeah, but that takes us from somebody that's at 6 by the election, and then we're going to tell them now you need to be at 12. So it will immediately change their regular member status.
It's frustrating because we all know what we're trying to get to. It's just the process of the proper wording of getting there.
So maybe we can just continue this idea that we have where you have to have 2, 4, 6, and then we have the rain change or whatnot, and then it's still you need to get 2 credits a month. So that way by the end of that reign they have gotten that, or I mean, would that be feasible?
No, Corin, what I was saying is if somebody has 0 attendances right now and they started doing 2 a month, they're going to have 6 by the election. And then if we go back to regular, the normal attendance requirements, then they go from requiring 6 for their attendance to requiring 12.
So then they would need to obtain 6 more credits right away if there was anything to be voted on, whether it be an all thing or whatnot.
Correct.
Which there is ample opportunity to get, as I explained before.
So not
Oh,
for everybody if we had a major issue come up in March and they really wanted to vote on that and they might be out. But I guess that would still just be a small percentage in that case.
I mean, Boot's right. There's still options for people to get more than 6 in the next 3 months. I was just pointing it out as an issue. If that's not an issue for the rest of the board, I'm okay with moving on.
If anything, it'll also encourage more people to participate in online activities, make our Discord more active, things like that. I know it's not a format that, again, is ideal, but right now this is what we're doing. And if you're interested in having a say, then this is how we're doing things.
Right, because we have a lot of online activities, but we're also trying to accommodate for those people who have very limited access to the online thing and can still make those credits.
There are people with internet. There are internet cafes. There are public libraries. There are phones. There are ample opportunities for people to have any sort of internet access, unless they literally do not leave their house.
Indeed, and even if they'll just have somebody they know with an iPhone come close enough to their step right outside and pose and they can get a picture, like depending on what we have going on at the time, there's a credit. So there's ways to do it. You just got to get creative, get excited, try new things.
Yep.
And I think too that it'll really help engage people and anybody who has put us like on the back burner or whatever. We want to stay on people's radar. We want people to stay engaged and connected. And there are unique opportunities right now, like I said, to boof up your character, to understand your character more, to express your character to others.
And to be perfectly frank, people who are not willing to put in a minutia of effort to participate in the way that we need to right now, I'm not really sure if I want them. I mean, if they make their attendance requirements, then please, yes, be a regular member. But if people aren't willing to put any sort of effort into the organization, them having a vote in the way that the organization goes, I mean, it just doesn't set well with me, I guess.
So I'm going to motion to. I'd like to vote on the proposal that Rain posted at 7:56 in the COC general chat. Or I'm assuming it's the same one that Ziagen just posted at 8:02.
I will second the motion.
Real quick before we do the vote, make sure that is what you all are agreeing on is what I just put in there. Basically, I copied and pasted what Rain said and included. It did not change again.
When I was talking, it said one thing, and then he said, do the thing from Rain. You copy pasted, and that was when I said it changed.
Better watch out, Nalarian. She's gonna yeet that computer at you.
So where did you write that? Because I'm not seeing it.
The line that I just said, that is from Rain's proposal. It's the first line, and it was a piece that was copied and pasted into the new the Google Doc file. And so I want to understand what this line means. As of 10th November 2020, members meeting the attendance requirements are still considered to meet the attendance requirements for voting purposes.
That is the clause, I believe, to not punish the people, to maintain the freeze from March 9th to November 10th.
Yeah, that locks in, as of today, everyone who is considered a member is still a member, but going forward, which is where the second part comes in, they have to meet that 6 attendances to be able to vote into the next election.
Okay, so there's no math needed to do it then. We have the list of who's met requirements and save a copy of that, and that's your baseline now going forward.
Yeah, and so if there's any all things or anything between now and then, nobody's dropping off. They get a vote in the all thing.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure we all are understanding what the practical implications are for this. All the PM should be listening, right?
I'm listening.
Master PM.
I'll let them know. It's okay.
Okay, so Rollo, you made a motion to vote on this proposal, correct? He said yes, and then Rain, you seconded it?
I seconded it.
Oh, sorry, Drasic. Okay, so ready to move forward with the vote. All right, this vote is to accept the proposal of the updated membership attendance requirements for Northreach. Astral Winds.
Yes.
Ravenstone.
Yes.
Lupin Moon.
Affirmative.
Frozen Coast.
Yes.
Icefire Bay.
Yes.
KPM.
Yes.
And I, the Kingdom Monarch, will vote yes, so that is accepted and will take effect immediately. Thank you, guys. Oh my goodness. Okay. Hey, we still have more for the BOD. Hopefully this one will not take as long. If you scroll on back, at the last, after the last COC, BOD COC meeting, the COC met with the regents to discuss bringing back crown calls, and to do it as, I guess not bring back crown calls, but to actually do crown calls for this upcoming election. Based on, was seeing some other kingdoms still doing crown calls. They were doing online crown calls. And we met, and Corin made this wonderful proposal. Oh, well, that didn't work. Was trying to bring it back down in here because I scrolled back. There we go. This is the proposal to add online crown calls temporarily for this situation. The gist of this one was, of course, we would have crown calls and they would be held online. It would be run by the Kingdom Regent. It would actually be a combined crown call. So instead of each region doing a crown call, it would all be done via the Kingdom Regent. And so everyone who is running for office would submit their crown calls to qualify for office to this event. Do not confuse this with the Dragon Master. Dragon Master is not in our admin manual, but it has typically been held in around the same time. So this is separate from Dragon Master. And the other main thing is that reducing the amount of crown calls needed to qualify, to take into consideration that members might be lacking in funds due to reasons because of the pandemic. So if you were running for the kingdom, not the kingdom, if you're running for regional monarch or regent, if you normally would have 7, we actually reduced that to 3. And then if you're running for the kingdom champion or heir apparent, then that will reduce down from 5 to 2. Of course, GMRs do not need to submit crown quals.
I like this proposal.
I think it's very well thought out and reasonable.
I completely agree.
Valen is over here nodding like, yeah, only 2 quals.
Joke's on you, I'm still doing 20.
I move to approve the amendments for the upcoming crown quals.
I will second that. Third that.
Too late.
Fourth.
Settle down. Okay, so this vote is to accept the temporary online crown calls for this upcoming election in January, the second weekend of January. Astro wins.
Yes.
Ravenstone.
Yes.
Lupin Moon.
Yes.
Frozen Coast.
Yes.
Ice Fairy Bay.
Yes.
Kingdom Prime Minister.
Yes.
And I, the Kingdom Monarch, votes yes. Excellent. The last piece, I didn't get it all quite copied and paste. That's when my computer decided to die. This right here, I'm calling, we're just as a little bit of cleanup to the admin manual. As we were looking at some stuff, this is just a quick cleanup. It doesn't actually, we need to add dark large crossing to these sections and update a couple shires to baronies. It's just a little cleanup. So I'm calling a motion to update the Northreach admin manual to reflect the addition of Dark Lodge Crossing, as well as the land audit changes, which didn't happen at for the Ravenstone, which has been a barony for a while.
I'll second the motion.
All right, top to bottom. Astro wins. Ronan. Oh, you're typing.
Ronan. Well, this is a surprise turn of events.
Am I back?
You're back.
Haha.
So what I was saying, we were voting on the motion just to clean up the admin manual by adding Dark Lodge Crossing to it, which got overlooked when they be added to the kingdom, and just updating Shire of Ravenstone and Shire of Icefire Bay to baronies.
Yes.
Ravenstone.
Yes.
Lupin Moon.
Yes, ma'am.
Frozen Coast.
Yes.
Icefire Bay.
Yes. And always start with sometime.
KPM?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay, I'm making a motion to call this meeting to close.
Second.
Seconded.
Oh,
Third.
Dang it.
motion on the floor is to close this meeting at almost exactly an hour. Astra wins.
Yep.
Ravenstone.
Yes.
Lupin Moon.
Yes, please.
Frozen Coast.
Yes.
Icefire Bay.
Yes.
KPM.
I'd like to yield my time to the regent for his filibuster. Okay, I mean yes.
And Kingdom Monarch says yes, this meeting is now closed at 8:15 p.m. Thanks, guys. Give me 1 second and we'll switch this over to the COC, which we will make nice and quick.
And did Adge get on Discord for this, or do we need to yell at him?
Oh, is Adge here? Yell at Adge if he's not here.
I see his bubble.
Hi, I was muted. I'm here. You can still yell at me, but I am here.
Oh, I yell at you, but usually it's where you can't hear me.
That's fair.
All right, there is the COC agenda. I am calling this meeting to order at 8:15. Welcome to the COC meeting. We've had, I guess, my first longest meeting, so I was bragging that we've been under an hour, so I guess it had to happen sometime. Does Gwendolyn, who's Austriana on? I do not see her on. So, quick ambassador information that I do know about. The new survey for W9 should be, or V9 should be coming out this week. I do have some fun, well, a little competition planned to amongst the parks to hopefully up some participation and maybe earn yourself some credits. So I'll be posting that as soon as they release it. I am going to post your credits tonight. Since I'm closing out the credits for the current survey 4. We are having a COM meeting in 2 weeks. It's just to discuss some issues with one of the freeholds left VO, and they want to join another kingdom, but VO blocked them. So we're going to have a discussion about that. And then we're still waiting for the update to the resolving the issue with the trademark dispute, the copyright dispute, and so I still have not paid our donation for the year, but I'm going to hopefully soon once they get resolved. So that's what I know that's happening upper wise, and that is my ambassador report on behalf of Austriana. And, oh, there she is. Oh, she's here now. I'm gonna hear. Hold on. Let me let her speak. You can speak, Austriana. Never mind, she dabbed out. Oh, no, she's back.
I have nothing to say. You did a great job. Nice work.
Thank you. All right. Okay, so that is that update. COVID update. It sucks. It's still here. It's running rampant. We're still closed. We are, as I guess some of these things are going to kind of run together for when I'm going to talk. We are moving to an online, we are doing online DC, which means we're also going to stream our upcoming knighting, and we'll also stream the court, so which leads to award recommendations. So we're going to start talking about awards here soon, so get those award recommendations in. Anyone else want to interrupt me, or I'm just going to ramble through power through this meeting.
Ramble away, Your Majesty.
All right. So yeah, wear your masks, wash your hands, stay away from people, do the thing, do online stuff. See, I got some online stuff planned. I know Drake's working on a really cool online event. The Monarchs, the champions, are working hard to keep everyone involved. So it looks like Dodal's got some stuff he's working up again. So lots of opportunities to be active within the kingdom, even if it's the asynchronous, like my survey. That counts. So to be inactive.
If I can, really quick, Your Majesty.
Yep.
I would like the populace to note that you are welcome to participate in any park in Northreach. Even if your champion is not holding an online event, you are welcome to jump into the D&D games of the various parks. We would be more than happy to have you. For example, I have Champion Valen here, and most of our folks who play Pathfinder with us aren't even from Loop and Moon. We have plenty of other people from other.
So when you join a D&D game, do you need to have a character rolled up already?
Yeah, sorry, I think my phone cut out. Yes, and that's something that you can talk to the respective champion running the game about. For example, like I said, Valen is happy to work with people. Just send him a message.
And can you use an older character that you've already created and ran through some games?
That really depends on DM. Here in our Loop and Moon game, we do have a character specifically created off of your LARP profile.
That's awesome.
And so that's my note on that, just that people can participate in all of Northreach. It's not strictly limited to just your park.
And I do know, if you want to participate in Valen's Pathfinder, reach out to him, and he'll pull you aside, and he'll sit down when he has a chance and not work in it, I'm sure, and help you roll up a character. And I think Dodal does that too. So. All right. So yeah, plenty of stuff coming up online. I'm pretty sure that there's almost something every day that you can participate in. And I might have a secret weapon when it comes to these meetings hiding in my back pocket. We shall see. We have, no, there's not a good answer to that. I would love to say we have a calendar. We have a calendar regarding to our park days, but I don't think the regions are actively putting in all of the online stuff. So we probably really should have something where we can go and say this. I'm having an event this day. So yes, we should. I'll talk with Corin. Something if you and your regions wants to consider, since you guys are the keeper of the calendars, if you guys can keep up with the announcements, to put them in the Northreach calendar. He's typing.
Or we could make some sort of a Google thing that people could fill out to submit to, that we could easily cut and paste and add to that calendar, just to take that weight off of the regions to a certain degree. But I don't know how to make that.
So yeah, thank you for poking the regions again. And if I need to, I can pull out mom voice if I have to.
I love mom voice.
That's a great idea, Rolo. Yeah, the one running the event tagged their regent so they can go and update the Northreach calendar. So good call out. So upcoming elections. Hey, we're less than 3 or almost 3 months from elections. So if you're thinking about running, start thinking about getting what you want to do. Get your LOIs in when Rolo posts them. When he opens them, I think he'll open the LOIs sometime in December. and start thinking about your crown quals. And yeah, now's the time. Thought he was going to say something. No, he's just typing. So, hey, if you didn't miss it, Austriana, we reduced crown calls and they're online. So it's not as many as you need, and it's going to be cool.
And remember to be kind to the judges, because they're going to have quite a few to go through just to approve people. And a lot of them might be literary renditions, since that's one of the best ways online to submit something. So, I mean, as opposed to trying to make that quantity of crown quals, like some people stated, look at the quality of it. Put that quality and that extra love into them.
DC update. So as I said already, DC, the now primary DC is going to be online, and I don't suspect it's going to be in person at this point. So unfortunately, don't get your hopes up, but it is going to be online. Boot and Mouse the Autocrat with her team of Boot and Bromir. They've got some pretty cool events that they're working on for all online. And of course, as I said, we're going to have a knighting, and we're going to have court, and it should be a good time. Look for some more details here soon as they work on their schedule. So I'm really looking forward to that. I've already talked about award recommendations. So get your award recommendations in. Help your monarchs out. If you made something cool, you see someone else made something cool, or what we talk about on a Council of Crowns level, we talk about titles of nobility and paragons. So if you think someone deserves a title, or if you think someone deserves a paragon, please submit that into the award recommendations, and we can talk about it. And I guess, what's the last? Okay, I guess it's my musings is last, and I really don't have any musings because this went way too longer than I thought it was going to take. Just a reminder, it's my usual, wash your hands, try to maintain your little bubbles, be wary of your surroundings, don't go licking things anymore, all that good stuff. So hopefully we can get this under control, and we can get back to some sort of normalcy, hopefully somewhat in the near future. But as I said earlier, I'm not expecting anything until the spring. So yeah, take care of each other, be nice, reach out. Austriana just said she is willing to listen. My door is always available. I think to go for any of the COC members, they're available to speak with. If you just need someone to talk to, etc. So, any questions, concerns, or anything from the populace? I know we got a little long tonight. Oh, yes, that's right. You did get voluntold for that.
So I really can't lick stuff anymore?
No.
Okay.
Not even doorknobs, Your Majesty?
No doorknobs. That's what's got us into this mess.
What about windows?
The stained glass ones, they look like candy.
Yeah, but they're let down. They don't taste like, unless it's a witch's house.
Alrighty then. I am calling this meeting to close at 8:29 p.m. Thank you very much for attending the November 10th Council Crowns BOD meeting. Have a wonderful evening, everybody. COC members, I need to speak with you guys. You're all in trouble. Thank you.
When am I not in trouble?
Yay. Have a sweet dreams, guys, when they find you.
Bye, guys. I'll see you